Arizona Republican gubernatorial nominee Kari Lake held a major rally in Chandler on Tuesday. Accompanied by Florida Representative Byron Donalds and conservative activists Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon, Lake tore into her Democratic opponent, Katie Hobbs. Lake is a former TV news anchor turned Republican politician and has become a major rising star in the Republican Party. Current polling shows her with a strong lead against Hobbs, who has refused to engage Lake in a gubernatorial debate. The Trump-backed Lake's potential victory would send shockwaves through the American political system. She is considered a potential running mate to former President Trump should he win the 2024 Republican presidential nomination.
One of these days, and it's going to be a crowd like Katie Hobbs gets, 10 people. And then we show up and it's massive because the people are awake and they're ready to save this republic, right? I had to come out to that song, Hit Me With the Best Shot, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, and that's for the fake news media. Because I got to tell you this, I didn't even tell Charlie this. We found out today they did some sort of, a study or research, and they found out the fake news that 87% of GOP candidates are getting negative coverage from the fake news. And that's not shocking, right? But guess which candidate is getting 100% negative coverage from the fake news? 100%. And I will tell you, anybody who's being attacked by the propagandists is the person you want to vote for, right? So pay very close attention to what they're saying. I was actually shocked. I thought it would be 95% negative, 100% negative from the fake news.
That makes me want to vote for her even more. Let me tell you, 100% across the board.
What it should do is it should make you want to get out and vote like your life depends on it. Because if they're coming after a mama bear who just wants to protect our babies, think about who else they'll come after. They're coming after us. And so we got to get out and vote on the 8th, or if you're going to vote before then, that's fine. Get out and vote and take 10 friends. Vote like your life depends on it, because we're trying to protect these precious little babies. We really are. So how many of you are ready to vote on the 8th? Raise your hand. Look at that. Look at that. How many of you are going to vote between now and the 8th? That's fine. We got to work within the system we're in right now, right? We are, thank you so much. I've got your 6 too. Thank you. So Charlie, I'm so excited you're here.
Yeah, and so Kari, I want to add on to something. Thank you, by the way. We've been crisscrossing the country. It's been a very long month this last week, in every corner you could imagine. But I had this circled on my calendar. I want to make sure we did this, and I just try to rally the troops and get people to understand that one of the reasons why the media covers her 100% negative is because she used to be part of them. And if they are not able to control the people in the media to actually talk about how dishonest they are, all of a sudden people are going to realize the legitimate threat they are to the republic. And so, Kari, can you talk about just the grassroots energy you're seeing, the parents' party that is rising up in record numbers? I've never seen anything quite like it. I mean, you look around here, this is a weeknight outdoor event, a week out from an election in a state candidate race. I mean, Katie Hobbs, there was a picture, I think half of them were staffers in the picture, and there were 4 people.
That's right. And this is an area where a lot of you are moms and dads. Raise your hand if you have kiddos. Raise your hand if it's almost bedtime for you. Okay, this is a sacrifice. This is a sacrifice. But we're about making sacrifices now for our country. And I just was on Fox News tonight, and we were talking about some new polling that shows that elusive suburban mom. You've heard of that group, right? Guess who they're voting for? Me and the Republicans. And it's so funny, Charlie, we don't hire big DC consultants. We didn't even hire big Phoenix consultants. We hired me. And I'm not making anything. We just went to my instincts as a mama bear, as someone who's lived here 30 years. I don't need a DC consultant to tell me that moms are nervous about what they're teaching our kids at school, right? Moms and dads are worried about the rising crime. We want to walk across the grocery store parking lot without looking over our shoulder. We want our kids to ride their bikes on the streets without being in an utter panic. And we don't want our precious babies and our young adults, our young children to get their hands on fentanyl. What we're watching a whole generation being killed by this stuff. So to me, it's pretty basic. You don't need to be a consultant, a high-priced lobbyist, or a high-priced pollster to understand why moms are voting Republican. They want common sense, right? And they want a secure border. It all starts with that border, guys. As long as that border's wide open.
So Kari, there are some polls that show there's still, believe it or not, 7 to 10% of undecided voters out there. I mean, it's amazing. But it's important that we equip this group, your most motivated base, with the best sales pitch going into this last weekend. How many of you know a voter that hasn't made up their mind yet? Does anyone know? Okay, there's one hand. That actually means you guys are doing your job.
That should be easy,
I know
then.
one. Okay, but go find one. That should be the answer. What should the answer then be to undecideds that are watching this, that see the broadcast, like, I don't know, I've seen all these negative ads. What's the pitch to that independent the last 7 days?
I really think the people who are undecided are, they probably know me. They're starting to see, they're probably former Democrats or somewhere in the middle, and they're saying, we don't want this divisiveness. We need to explain where the divisiveness is coming from. It really is coming from the media. Because when you start to talk about the policies of what the Republicans are offering right now, it is about, I think, bringing this country together. How many Democrat moms and dads want their kids to get their hands on fentanyl? I can't think of one. How many Democrats want a wide open border besides Katie Hobbs? I can't think of one who really want a wide open border. How many Democrats want their kids to be taught sex education in elementary school? I think we are so much closer together than we are far apart. Now, there's going to be those radicals on the left. We need to remind our Democrat friends, and I know it's hard to think, we've been so divided for so long, you think I can't even talk to them. They're probably questioning their party right now. They're looking at it going, wait a minute, my 401k, my savings has shriveled up by a third. I can't afford groceries. I can't afford gas. Biden is, he can't find the front door at the White House. Our country is going to hell in a handbasket. They might be ready to have a discussion. And if you talk about the issues that matter, inflation, who wants to help with inflation? I want to get rid of the grocery tax and the rent tax. Those are two really... So tell them about that. I want to make sure that our kids, when they're in high school, they have a dual-track education. After 10th grade, they decide if they want to take that college route, and that's great, go for it. Or after 10th grade, we get them skills training, trade skill training, vocational training, or career certification. Get them ready for the jobs that are out there. And we want to fully fund our police. We want to be yes, there we go.
Give it up for our police tonight, by the way.
Yes,
They do such a
indeed.
great job.
Absolutely. Our men and women in law enforcement, my God, do we need them. And I want, Charlie, that every law enforcement officer in the country, if they're in a Chicago or they're in a Seattle or Portland or a blue state, I want them to know if they're unhappy, if they're feeling like, they're demoralized, they can come here to Arizona. We want to hire them. We want to bring them on board because we want every department fully staffed. So we're going to work on that.